Welcome back. You're still watching VOP this morning. Now, a high court in Kano presided over by Justice Usman Malam Naba has restrained members of the group loyal to the Board of Trustees of New Nigeria People's Party (NNPC) from acting as officials of the party. And
that's NNPP actually.
NNPP,
Yes.
okay, NNPP, from acting as officials of the party or suspending and expelling its presidential candidate Rabiu Kwankwaso pending the determination of the substantive suit. It also restrained the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) from recognizing the purported suspension of Kwankwaso pending the hearing and determination of the motion on notice, while adjourning to October 5, 2023. Still with us is Great Imo and Chukwuma Okoro, both of whom are social commentators. So, Chukwuma, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so this so-called New Nigeria's People's Party, that's what it's called, but all we have seen so far are basically old names, and old ways. What do you have to say about that?
That's Nigerian politics. That's Nigerian politics for you. He has new names. All of them are basically the same. But mind you, this party has been around since 2000. Are you aware of that? Nnpp has been around since 2000. It was floated by Dr. Bonham. It's been around. They've not been able to find their bearing, either at the local government, at the state House of Assembly, at the National Assembly or federal level. They've not been able to do that. But I think what Kwankwaso did was to dust it up. After he left, is it APC or PDP this time? Because he's been from PDP to APC, back to PDP, and now NNPP. So he had to dust it up to use it to actualize his presidential ambition. The president has been a president to him has been an article of faith, and he's pursued it diligently. But I was a little bit surprised that he even thought that he was going to win the presidency. But he did it to upstage in Kano, Ganduje, So it's all about the issue of political parties in Nigeria, the old names, except maybe like YPP that is trying to full in expression, despite the fact that you find some old people from the old political parties too, who out of being maneuvered from their own parties now found refuge in these other new parties. It's just about them trying to remain relevant. The NNPP, their case in court points to one thing as far as I'm concerned. Why do they want to suspend Kwankwaso? It borders on financial recklessness. The issue at core is that he is unable to account for about 1 billion naira campaign funds given to him. This is a man that has been actually, he started from the House of Representatives in 1992 when he was in 1999 governor. After 4 years, he was unable to go back to that government, to the governorship position. He now went to the ministerial level and served as Minister of Defense, left there, became an ambassador to Somalia and Darfur or whatever, and now came back to be a governor again. Now he is in a hot case with his party about embezzlement. Ordinary political party. He's being accused of embezzling funds. They called him, come and give account of how he refused to go. At the national convention of the party, it was on that premise that they had to suspend him.
So
he quickly ran to court.
Now, for the courts to come in and say, to upturn the suspension, how does that make you feel? Is it that the court is supporting the embezzlement charge against him?
No. Moses, the court did not upturn the suspension. The court gave an injunction.
Okay.
gave an injunction stopping it temporarily until the determination of the substantive suit. You get the point?
Yes, yes.
But how our judiciary has been bastardized. Sometimes cases are for sale. Cases are for sale. You can imagine people going from Abia State to get a high court judgment restraining parties in Abia State or in Imo State. Why couldn't they go to a neighboring state? They were shopping for court injunctions. People shop for court injunctions, and it speaks to the how can I put it now? It speaks to how our jurisprudence, how our jurisprudence has been managed over time to give vent to justice. This same Mary Odele that is in issue now procured a court injunction for her husband, Peter Odele, when EFCC was hounding him. She procured an injunction restraining any court in Nigeria eternally from investigating Peter Odele. Okay. And up till today, the EFCC has not invited him again, relying on that injunction.
Okay, then.
Okay,
so what do you make of that?
All right, Chukuma, very well. Great Imo, I don't know if you can hear me. Okay, so some of the opinion that despite the fact that Nnpp, was formed over 20 years ago, just like Chukuma rightly stated, some of the opinion that the party came into prominence, when Kwankwaso, was the presidential candidate, and now it's seeming as though he has been used and now he's being dumped by the party. What do you have to say about that?
Yes, it's a two-way thing. In Nigerian politics, people think someone once said that in politics, they use people. When you look around and you don't see the person being used, look very well, you might be the one being used. That in politics they believe in using people. If you don't discover the person being used, you are most likely the one being used.
Okay.
Once you're in the center, in the mix, it's not just an Nnpp thing. It is a Nigerian political disease that have caught up with so many political parties, and the judiciary in Nigeria have really messed up the whole thing, because every political party is registered based on their constitution. That's the ground norm. That is the article of association. And you see sometimes things that are very plain in the party's constitution being manipulated before the court, and the judges and being used. I'm sorry to say, I don't know how this people will stop me from saying that these judges are being bribed. Over time, we have consistently, the judicial thing have deteriorated to the extent that we have judges that have been promoted on the basis of party. There were people to high court and other higher ranks were political, these are actors who are instrumental to their rights, not because they were qualified. You see that even they have colleagues who are better qualified than them, but who are never given this opportunity. So even in the face of what is plainly written as the party's constitution, these judges, based on who has given them shoulders to come up, or who has given them more money, decide. There are a few judges in Nigeria that look at things on their merit. So that is a problem. But looking at Kwankwaso, I would say that both ways, those founders of Nnpp and Kwankwaso, they're using each other, because Kwankwaso himself had formed a political party before, couldn't sustain it. I don't remember the name. Kwankwaso, if he at the time he led PDP, this last time after leaving APC to PDP, he did not find a platform. He wouldn't be a candidate. Then the Nnpp, if they didn't have a person of Kwankwaso's caliber, will also not be in the news. Literally, there are political parties. Today, political parties are made by name. So each and whichever way, both the party and the individual are using each other, but let them follow the rules of
somebody's being used ultimately. Okay. Now, quickly, in a few seconds, I'd like you to let me know what you think the impact of this crisis on the future of the party, especially looking at future elections of the party. I'm going to ask the both of you this. Let's have a minute each, please. Thank you. Great. You go first.
But my challenge in Nigeria has become, no matter what the constitution of the political parties are, whatever the rules of engagement, what will determine the impact of this is what the judicial pronouncements will be on all of these things. The judiciary have made so many people to lose faith in whatever articles of accession and of engagement they have, both at the general level, at individual level. The judiciary needs a reform. While we are shouting about the political class, I think this is a time to rise up to fight for the deliverance of the judiciary in Nigeria, because they may destroy
the judiciary.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Chuku. Great emo social commentator. Chukuma Okoro, please, your final thoughts now. Also, impact of this on the judiciary, on, I beg your pardon, the NNPP and elections in Nigeria in general.
I think the NMPP will so much rely on the personality of Kwankwaso to move forward. Depending on how they resolve their issue, if he stays back, he might still be able to pull few strings by 2027 if he remains in the NMPP. Otherwise, I think that the NMPP will be gone if Kwankwaso leaves it, because for 20 years or thereabout, they didn't make impact until Kwankwaso came on board. If he remains there, he will use it to do one or few things and remain relevant in Kano. But if he runs back to PDP or APC, I'm afraid that might be the end of NNPP.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Chukuma Okoro. We do appreciate you for your thoughts and your time. All right, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Okay, up next we have the business news right when we come back.